Hello artists! Today we are going to learn about one of those very valuable art tools we have in our studio, the hot glue gun. If you work with cardboard, then this tool is going to be very important to you. Hot glue is really great because it's super strong. When hot glue is dry, it's just as hard as plastic. Hot glue never loses its stickiness like tape. No matter how long you've had something that's been hot glued, it's always going to stay that way. It's not going to lose its stickiness. It's going to stay super strong. And the last thing that makes hot glue so awesome is that it dries very fast. So it does not take a long time like Elmer's glue. It dries within 30 seconds. So let me tell you more about this hot glue gun. Oh yeah, since it's hot, that also means it's dangerous. So there are some safety rules that we need to follow to keep ourselves safe and to keep our teammates safe and anybody else who's working at the hot glue station with us. So let's learn about those safety rules and how you can use this awesome tool to make amazing pieces of art. All right, boys and girls, let's talk about this glue gun. This is a hot glue gun, which means it heats up this plastic cold glue so hot that it melts it so that you can stick things together. That means that it gets hot, which means it can burn you. Please be careful. There are safe places to touch on the glue stick, and there are not safe places to touch. Let's talk about them real quick. You have your handle, which is safe to touch, and your trigger, which is safe to touch. If you look through this little window, you can see the glue cartridge. Okay? You see that the glue cartridge is still touching this white part. If that is full, then you do not need to add a glue stick. Once this is halfway gone, then you can stick your new glue stick right in the back, right through that circle opening. And that's what your glue stick will look like. If you draw a line from your glue stick straight across, this is where your glue gets heated up. This is where your heating element is, and your glue gets really hot right in this area. So if you were to touch the glue gun right here, it would be very warm or hot. This is not a safe place to touch. This is your nozzle. Some of the nozzles we have in our classroom are covered with a safe plastic, but that does not make it safe. Do not ever touch the nozzle of the glue gun. When you squeeze your trigger, liquid glue comes out of the nozzle. That glue is extremely hot. This glue can burn you. The nozzle of the glue stick will burn you, and this could burn you. So if you're drawing a straight line from your glue stick out the glue, it gets super hot, and when it comes out, it is extremely hot. You can let this glue sit for a good 20-30 seconds before it is hard. So don't feel like you need to rush when you are using the glue gun. Once you let it sit for a couple seconds, then you can take your piece of cardboard and you can stick it on there. It's still nice and sticky. It's still holding. And actually, it's even a little bit good to wait several seconds before you stick a piece of cardboard onto your glue. All right, there we go. For our glue gun safety rules, the first rule is that you need to ask for permission. But please do not ask for permission until you have all of your pieces ready and you know exactly where you are going to glue them. So I have all of my pieces ready. I have planned, I have cut, I know exactly where I'm going to glue my pieces together, and I know I am ready to start hot gluing. So now I am ready to ask for permission. The second rule is that we are never going to play around at the hot glue station. There's no joking, there's no shoving. This is not a place that you can laugh and play and joke around. This is a serious station, and your attitude needs to be careful, safe, and serious. The third rule is that you never put hot glue on tiny pieces. Now I have tiny pieces that I'm going to need glue on, but what we're going to do is make sure that we do not put glue on these tiny pieces. It is very dangerous to hold a tiny piece and put glue on it. My glue gun is way too close to my fingers, and if I were to put glue on this, I would most likely burn myself. So instead of putting glue on your tiny pieces, you can put glue on the big piece you're gluing it to. If you are gluing two tiny pieces together, then you should use regular Elmer's glue, not hot glue. Okay, so now that I'm ready to glue my tiny pieces onto my larger piece, the next rule is that when you glue onto cardboard, you do not, let's see if I can show you, you do not want to hold your glue gun over your item so that your glue drips onto your item. You always want to touch your glue gun onto the item that you're gluing. So I'm going to glue a triangle piece right in that area. So I'm going to go and put there. And I'm also going to put a one there. I am touching the nozzle of my glue gun onto the cardboard I am putting glue. I am using a big piece of cardboard to put glue on, not a tiny piece. My tiny piece is going to then get set onto my glue. So when I do that, I'm going to make sure that my fingers are nice and far away, because that is actually rule number 5. Don't put your fingers near hot glue. You've noticed that I've waited a couple seconds for my glue to cool slightly, and now I'm going to set my piece, keeping my fingers nice and far away from my glue. Gonna hold it together for a few seconds, and now I have a nice secure connection. It's very quick, and I kept my fingers safe. So now I'm ready to go and try that again. I'm going to put my glue nozzle on the cardboard. I'm going to push my glue stick a little bit more. You see my glue is halfway through the two white pieces, so now it's time for a new glue stick. I'm going to put my new glue stick in. I'm going to put my metal nozzle on the cardboard and keeping my fingers far away. I am not gluing my tiny piece, I'm gluing my big piece. So I'm going to pull the trigger and put a small amount of glue in the crease there. I'm not going to rush because it doesn't dry right away. I'm going to take my time, make sure my fingers are safe, and I'm going to set my piece right where I need it. I'm going to use my hands to hold my piece secure for a few seconds to make sure the glue is set. Now if I put this piece right on that glue line too soon and I touch the back where the glue was, it would still be very, very hot and possibly burn your hand if your cardboard is too big. So always wait a few seconds before you stick your pieces in. So now I have my nice secure angle that I was trying to build, and I am ready for the next piece that I'm going to glue. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make these into handles on this piece of cardboard. So I'm going to take these two pieces and I'm going to glue them on there and then tilt them down. Now these are tiny, aren't they? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make tiny dots where I want them to connect. I do not have to be in a rush. You see that I am putting the nozzle of the hot glue gun on the cardboard. Okay, then I'm going to connect it. I'm going to connect this one. And next up, I'm going to glue it down here. So again, just a teeny tiny amount. Always use a small amount of hot glue. You never want a big puddle because then you're more likely to get burned. I'm going to bend it down, press it and hold for a second. Bend it down. Press it and hold for a second. And now I have my loops. So you can see the hot glue is just a far better way to glue pieces of cardboard together. It dries fast. It's nice and strong. It looks like my pieces are coming up a little bit. So always make sure that you hold it for a good 10 or 15 seconds before you let it go. All right. Remember, never put glue on tiny pieces. Always glue your big piece. Keep your fingers far away from glue. So if I put glue there, I'm going to make sure that my fingers are far away from that dot of glue. Far away. All right. I'm going to hold it for 10 or 15 seconds. And then I think I can let it go. The last rule of the glue gun is, we kind of already talked about it, but only touch the safe places. The handle and the trigger. And adding your glue stick. That's really the only touching you need to do on your glue gun. Never touch from your glue stick straight line forward or any of the hot glue that's coming out. Some people think that it's really fun to see the strings that hot glue makes. So if you see those strings that it's making, and then they want to play with those. Never play with these, because what ends up happening is you do end up touching hot glue and then you get burned. So wait until your project is completely done before you start pulling off the little spider webs that the glue sticks make. Okay, that is your glue gun safety. Enjoy. Now it's time for you to take the Kahoot test. You have to score 100% on that test to be able to use the glue gun. And when you are ready to start your project, remember that it's always best to plan on a piece of paper first. All right, boys and girls, have fun.